Okay, I'm back from yesterday. I was talking about, I talk about this almost every day, how I'm so surprised the way people are reacting to Donald Trump, and that I'm not that concerned with the Supreme Court decision in this particular instance because I believe there's other ways to get to him. This may keep him out of jail when he doesn't get elected, that decision. That's about all it's going to do to it. Because I believe if he doesn't get elected, he'll be charged with treason. And they'll come after him and they'll want him gone so bad, you know. And then of course it depends on what other Republicans are in office. I mean, if you still have a Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lorena Bobbitt and some of the others that gets and some of the others that are whack jobs that are roaming around, or if they're still around, then things get very very complicated very very fast. I don't really care. I want this man gone, and I think one way or another he's going to be gone. When I say one way or another, I said I don't think that the Democrats are going to hire somebody to blow him up or something like that. I think the Republicans are going to do it to him because he's going to cost them a lot of elections. He's just too gone, and that's surprising. I mean, there were a lot of people that liked him, like I did when he wrote the book Art of the Deal and all that stuff, and he was a success story. And then you start to find out he's a scumbag. I mean, a low life scumbag. He's not even a high class scumbag. He's a low life scumbag. He lies constantly, and people believe him because he goes by the principle: if you tell a lie enough times, people will believe it and take it as fact. It's like with the election. There's absolutely no facts anywhere that it was rigged so that Biden won the election. Okay, and if he loses this one, you're going to see the same thing, only it's going to be worse. He'll have armed troops counting ballots. Paid hoodlums counting ballots, and the Supreme Court will be on his side. That's the big thing I want to do is I want to get rid of Alito and a couple of the other justices that are on that Supreme Court because I just believe that they're a danger to democracy. They're political. And that's the thing. I keep saying this and nobody seems to answer me or agree with me or anything. That I really believe that the Supreme Court shouldn't be political. I mean, the justice is supposed to be blind and impartial. The Supreme Court is far from impartial. I mean, its decisions. The funny thing about the Constitution and constitutional law is you can interpret it many different ways. It's like religion. How do religions become violent? Because that's the interpretation of the person that's reading the literature. You can pick out things in there that in the Bible and whatnot that say do horrible things to other people in the name of God. Well, that's the same thing about politics. You can go around and you can pick and choose and do whatever you want, and it's okay. Constitution's like that. I mean, an ironclad constitution is not for to be for democracy because then it becomes totalitarian and in itself becomes an instrument of destruction. I don't know. I'm a fairly smart guy. I think sometimes. Excuse me when I'm awake. I have problems with my blood pressure and everything. They're starting to make me tired. I apologize in advance if I fall asleep or pass out or something like that. Anyhow, I believe that I'm not even sure how good a judge Michelle Obama would have been, although I love the lady and I think she's a brilliant woman, because of her so-called liberal views on things. Now, what's better, a liberal view or a conservative view? Or can't you have both, depending on the issue? Can't you make up your own mind? See, that's the thing. See, you have the ability in the Supreme Court decision. It's based on the Constitution of making up your own mind on what point of view you want to take. And it is. It's just a point of view of the interpretation of the Constitution. It's like the Quran or the Bible or anything else. It's all about your point of view at the time of the interpretation. Now, I don't know enough about the Constitution to sit here and say it says this, it says that. But I believe if you know, they say, well, they inferred this. Well, like people complain about it. It's what, over 200 years ago this thing was written. It's not current, you know. And can you adapt it to be current? Depends on depends on the point of view. If you want to adapt it to be current, in Trump's point of view, it'll be something like Hitler's manifesto, you know, or Che Guevara or somebody else's manifesto. It'd be horrible. But then again, there's such a thing as being too liberal, you know. Taking a liberal point of view on something, on certain issues like abortion or immigration is fine and dandy. And, you know, abortion is a woman's thing. It's a woman's right, you know. And I don't think that the government should get themselves involved in that crap, because they're still going to do it whether you make it illegal or not. Because they can't afford the children. They weren't smart enough to use the right contraception, or it wasn't available to them. You know, that's the other thing. They want to take contraception away from these women. Now, you know, that I can't say it. Anyhow, you know what I'm talking about, where the embryo is artificially placed into the womb. They don't want to do that either. You know, you gotta fuck to have a kid. That's just what they want. You know, which is, you know, okay. You know, I mean, that can be fun sometimes, but not the way they want to do it. And it's more like watching The Handmaid's Tale. Somebody gets selected, they brought into a room, bent over, banged, and that's it. See you later. You know? Oh, God. I don't know. I sit in a room, about 10 by 10, 10 by 6 or something like that, 10 by 8. Down here, that's what you're seeing in the background there. Down here in Colombia, and I'm watching what's going on up there, you know. And you see all this strange stuff, and you hear all these things being said. And like I said, it's very difficult to find sources of information. It's like this morning when Facebook and Instagram went down. Finding the article on CNN was kind of hard at the time, although it was a headline news down here, you know, and it was because it affected people down here. They said 532,000 subscribers. Get serious. Quite a few more than that. And it seemed to me, since it was all a lot of my friends and whatnot, and we're all on the East Coast, or registered accounts are on the East Coast, that it was on the Eastern Seaboard type operation, you know. 500. They had 532,000 outages. They said, you know, come on. I don't know how many subscribers he has down here. I'm one of them, you know. And I hate Facebook, but it's the only way I can talk to my friends, and the only way my family. I shouldn't say it's not the only way. It's the only method that all my family members use so that I can still talk to them, you know. Those that are on any kind of social media, you know, some of them aren't on social media at all. You know, I don't know how they communicate to each other. I guess they have to do it by phone, you know. But anyhow, the way this went down today, you know, and everybody getting crazy with that 3 or 4 hour no Facebook, no Instagram. Think what would happen if this happened during 9/11. All the cell phone service went out in New York City, in certain main areas in New York City. The only way they communicated to anybody was by the antiquated line service, because that operated on batteries, 48-volt batteries. And it was able to come up, and they were able to use it and able to communicate. Nowadays, you have to understand that the police department operates on cell phones. Everybody operates on cell service or digital service of some kind. And all you need is something called electronic magnetic pulse, an EMP. Knock out New York City in a heartbeat. Then what do? How do you communicate with people? You got to go down 20 floors, or 28 floors, or 30 floors, or 80 floors. Find somebody you know and give them a message. That'll be a lot of fun. That'll work real well. You want to see chaos? That'd be chaos. Okay, look, it is Tuesday, March 5th, and I am on my way out to do some stuff. I have some work to do in this machine that I'm working on. Hopefully I'll have it back tomorrow. Meantime, take care. Have a good day.